Since the first day that Joe Biden has been in office, he's had these issues that have been put on public display of him messing up speeches, falling down, forgetting where he was, and walking off into the forest randomly. What's that all about? And it's come out to light now that they've known about this from day one.
States now, it's been revealed by some of the biggest Biden administration insiders. We're talking about his aides, his donors. They've spilled the tea to the Wall Street Journal, saying that, in fact, Biden's lack of mental acuity, they've been covering it up since day one. Now, this was something that was blown wide open by James O'Keefe, who you're...
Now, it's not like we could expect this administration to be upfront and honest about this sort of thing, because they would say that we could use this as some type of fodder against them when anything went wrong. Now, this just goes to show you the underhandedness and the crookedness that comes with this entire administration over the past 4 years.
You'll remember he's quite famous for these undercover videos where they get someone of significance who usually thinks that they're on a romantic date and plug them for info. Here is Henry Appel, a National Security Council advisor inside the White House, spilling the tea regarding Biden's very lacking mental acuity throughout his tenure as president to what he thought was a hot date.
Now, first of all, that just goes to show you the level of professionalism behind this guy, Henry, because why would you go on a date and then talk about top secret stuff just to get clout and impress this woman? That goes to show you the desperation in it, right? Because this is stuff that you're not supposed to be talking about. And here you are on private camera getting caught telling all the news.
Well, here's some tea. Joe Biden is like dead. He can't just say something. He's like really progressed in his whole view. Everybody recognized. I can't believe it wasn't a bigger scandal there.
Oh, it was a big scandal. It was pretty noticeable from early on too. This footage was from 2 years ago where he's shaking hands with no one there and he's pointing at people that aren't even there. This is 2 years ago. So how are they going to say, how is he saying, I don't see how anybody didn't notice it before? Oh, trust me, we noticed.
When unions do better, everybody does better. Everybody does better. And we talk about how, for example, when I went, but they add things all the time. At the very end, it's not going to happen. No one's saying that.
He believes he's up to the task.
I'm not bad at what I do. And now, it doesn't mean I never make a mistake. I do. But I'm making those decisions.
And he wants the American people to vote for him.
I think I'm the most qualified person to run for president. I beat him once, and I will beat him again.
As more eyes than ever before are on Joe Biden, he needed a blunder-free week. And, well, that didn't exactly happen.
And that's the thing, guys. There's so many of these. If you see right here, I typed in Biden's blunders, and there's literally hours of this stuff.
Presents Biden's blunders.
I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president. And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin.
President Putin. Putin's not the president of Ukraine. Oh my God, let me stop laughing on camera, man. Oh.
We're going to beat President Putin. President Zelensky. I'm so focused on beating Putin, we got to worry about it. Yeah. Anyway, the allies in this room not only share a common language, don't share a common language, we do not share a common border, but we are neighbors. We're neighbors.
He looks terrified. He looks like he has no clue what's going on. Oh,
for
poor
5
Joe.
additional strategic air defense systems.
Who?
Destroy Ukraine's culture. He's a man of integrity and intellectual rigor, a calm temperament in a moment of crisis, a consummate diplomat.
Dead in a year.
He'll be dead in
He
a
went
year.
to tell He went on to tell stories of.
Or something. The phone ringing in the office, and I was like, "Well, Mr. President," Henry, he was like, "He's safe there." He's like, "No, he's traveling with you. He's on the same trip that you are."
Now, for you guys, I know you probably can't hear what he's saying. He's saying that because he's in a bar on a date. He doesn't even know that he's being set up. But what he's saying is that Joe Biden called, he answered the phone, and Joe Biden's looking for Jake Sullivan. Jake Sullivan happens to be on the trip with him, and this Henry guy answers the phone, and he's like, "No, sir, he's with you." And this happens on multiple different occasions. Let me fast forward a little bit to the next where he's talking about it happening again.
Call from my boss. And so I picked the phone and said, "Hello, Mr. President, like Henry on Jake's phone. He's up for the day, but I can try to get it on the line for you." And he like asked me some questions. I was like, "I don't know, like let me get the signature didn't ask him. I'll call his Secret Service detail." And it's like I'll try his like unclassified phone. Like then like 10 seconds later, same phone. I picked it up again. I was like, "Hi again, it's Henry." He was like, "Is Jake there?" I was like, "No, you called the same office."
This just goes to speak to his mental state and how little memory he actually has. If he's calling back in 10 seconds to ask the same question to the same guy for the same guy, that's just not, it makes no sense and I guess I can't say it doesn't make any sense. It's just sad to see how much of this decline there was, and they're hiding it so well. Now, check this out.
Make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with
Trump's
COVID.
like, huh?
Excuse me, with dealing with
He looks at him
everything
like,
we have to do.
"What are you talking about, Joe?"
Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden.
And he just gets cut off mid-sentence. It's not something that you guys were hiding very well, don't you think? If this is something they were trying to hide, if this is something they're trying to keep under wraps, they let the cat out of the bag multiple times, especially within the last year or two. Now here's President Biden giving a speech in the middle of the Amazon forest, and watch what he does after the speech is over.
The Amazon rainforest was built up over 50 million years. 50 million years.
First of all, the Earth is not 50 million years old. Sorry to tell you, Joe.
History is literally watching us now. So let's preserve this secret place for our time and forever, for the benefit of all humanity. Thank you very, very much.
That boy Glass is super crooked. Where you going? Where you going, Joe? And he just wanders off into the woods. Where you going, buddy? And then the guys come to get him. Sad day and age, man. Here's another time where he's just frozen and can't tell what's going on. And what is this? Is this a drag queen? I'm not sure what this is, but it looks like a man with a beard and long hair and makeup on and a dress. Yep, that's what it is. Joe has no clue what's going on. Furthermore, Kamala's husband has no idea what's going on. Old boy's checking in with Joe like, "You okay there, brother?" I'll show you guys this to say that they weren't hiding anything, right? This is all out in plain sight. And it seems that the longer and closer they got to the end of his term, the worse things got. Now, let me play you this clip and you'll see that they were strategic from the beginning about his appearances.
As early as spring 2021, they were already readjusting his schedule very regularly to account for his, quote, good days and bad days, end quote. Gabby, it doesn't come.
As early as 2021, this is a year into his presidency. They were moving and shifting dates and changing appointments and appearances to cater to his good days and his bad days. So you guys knew this all along. And I just wonder what type of impact this has on the legacy left behind this presidency, right? There's a lot of things that happened in this presidency that could be stemmed back to the fact that he just wasn't capable for the job.
Come as a surprise to anyone who was paying any attention over the last few years that this was always the case.
Absolutely. And it's one of the biggest political scandals that you've got the President of the United States that hasn't been mentally well for 3 years, and there's just been this protection racket around him. And the media's been a big protection racket. They've been complicit in it, apart from outlets like Sky News that have been calling it out. So if you've been watching us, you would have seen the decline in real time, which has been quite scary. But some of the...
Yeah, you get a lot of liberal news media outlets, you get a lot of conservative news media outlets, and they both spin things to look the way that they want it to look. And this Sky News is from Australia, so they've got no, skin in the game regardless. But I guess I would think that it is funny for them to watch this stuff from afar and to just see how America has become the laughingstock of the world powers. We used to be the most powerful, and we probably still are the most powerful, but we're not the most seriously taken country out of all the countries anymore. I think that America has to be like mid right now. When you think about powerhouses, you think about China, you think about Russia. You don't think about America like you used to. We used to get brought up in fear, would get put into the hearts of those that we were going to war with, that we were doing business with, and it's just not anymore, and I could only think that when they see us now, they see us as a bunch of leftist, effeminate men, homosexuals, transgender, this is the type of stuff that they see us as now. And we're over here making a fuss over stuff like men playing in women's sports and things like that, when there's real world stuff out here to be dealing with, instead of all this foolishness that we're allowing to become normal over here, all by a satanic agenda being pushed by the enemy.
Details, look, it's not fresh news that, hey, he's got cognitive decline, but some of the details in this is absolutely insane, that they do have to accommodate for his good days, his bad days. Some days he'd have to finish at 4 p.m. He just gets too tired. Well, we've seen that recently when he's fallen asleep on the world.
I hadn't seen this where he fell on stage like that. Hope he was all right.
Stage, but he's just taken part in an interview where he was asked about his presidency, and in true Joe Biden style, he says he has no regrets.
Any other regrets that you have? Anything you wish you would have done differently?
Well, I guess if I thought a lot about it, it'd be something I would have specifically done, but not generically.
Not generically.
We have been watching this
Joe?
in real time for years, and it has been so embarrassing. Kamala Harris has been complicit in this. I'd like to know who else was around Joe Biden and why they were essentially lying to the American people this whole time. Jill Biden, what have you been doing this entire time? Lying to the American people. But this is back Joe Biden in 2020. Take a look.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
You know the thing. You know what I'm trying to say, people.
You know the thing. Here he is in 2021.
If it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway.
Oh, Lord.
And here he is in 2022.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put
Kamala's just sitting there like, what are you going on about, Joe?
The evidence has been there from the start. It's been so embarrassing for America. Who on earth was supporting him right up until June?
Right? You see what she just said? This has been so embarrassing for America. It has been embarrassing, and this is what people wanted 4 more years of. Now, granted, yeah, it wouldn't have been Joe Biden's face on it, but Kamala supported everything. She was in on everything. Her signature, her agreement was needed for everything. She had a big part in this, and she was going to continue 4 years of this. But she might as well have been just as impotent as he was, because I don't know if you heard her talk, but she didn't make much sense either.
I grew up understanding the children of the community are the children of the community.
In one term, he has already, yes, you may clap.
You need to get to go and need to be able to get where you need to go to do the work and get home.
So it would have been more of the same, right? There's no debate of what it would have been like for 4 more years of this presidential candidacy, right? It's foolish to think that we would have had any better of an agenda being pushed with Kamala Harris being in the office. Now watch this.
The free world, President Joe Biden, who this week was given a clean bill of health from his physician, who declared Joe is healthy and vigorous.
Now, this was in February 16th, 2023. Biden remains healthy and vigorous, his physician says. February 2023.
And is fit to successfully execute the duties of the presidency.
Okay.
Bridge over the Holly River. Look, in Washoe County in Nevada, we're spending $89 billion to add several lanes.
Brilliant. And Biden was this week in...
Brilliant. Oh, man. Brilliant. So, oh, man, this is no surprise to us, guys, here in America. We've been watching this train wreck of a presidency for the last 4 years. And those of us that voted for Trump and those of us that voted for Biden will have to agree upon one thing, that Joe Biden clearly was not fit for the job. And so I know that there's a lot of heated debates between family and friends alike, and people are losing followers and losing businesses and losing a lot of things over being a Trump supporter. And granted, I didn't vote, guys. I was a felon and I didn't find out that I was eligible to vote in this election until it was already too late. But could I have voted? I would have voted for Trump. Unfollow me if you want to. I'm just for the change that had the most Christian values, right? Now, do I think Trump is a Christian? I do not think Trump is a Christian. Does he have a lot of shady stuff in his past? Absolutely, but so do I. So here, who am I to cast stones, right? I can't cast a stone on President Trump, but I do think that he is the better man for the job. I couldn't see any other opponent doing anything better than I think what President Trump would be capable of doing. But who knows? We got 4 years to figure it all out. In the meantime, we all need to pray for President Biden. Alzheimer's, dementia, whatever it is, it's a serious disease, guys. There's no cure for it. And literally, you just decline and, deteriorate away. You forget your loved ones, you forget your friends, you forget your family. They have to watch you literally wither away. So if we could, even if those of you out there that hate Joe Biden, but you can't call yourself a Christian if you hate Biden anyway. But if you guys can find it in your heart to pray for him, pray for his family, that as, these are his last days, guys. But we need to pray that it's as smooth of a transition as possible and that he truly comes to know the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because this man is not saved and he's going to go to hell if he doesn't meet the Lord Jesus Christ. So we need to pray for that, guys, and I encourage you all to do so. That's going to do it for this one. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Until then, God bless.